Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, may Allah bless you all. Inshallah, I will be talking in this video about the belief of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah regarding the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has many attributes, so many attributes, more than what we can count. But the scholars of Islam, the scholars of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, they have agreed that there are certain attributes of Allah that we as Muslims need to know and to believe in a correct way. The minimum amount or the minimum attributes that we have to know, inshallah, I'll be talking about in this video briefly, and in future videos I'll be talking about each one of them in more details, inshallah. And as I will be mentioning those attributes, you'll find that you know them and that you believe in them. And I'm doing this as from the barakah and to remind you and to explain to you properly the aqidah, the belief of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, the true followers of Prophet Muhammad, about the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. First attribute, we say and we believe in that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exists. Allah exists. And Allah's existence is not like our existence. Allah exists without a place, without direction, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, the next attribute that we believe in is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no beginning to His existence. Allah has no beginning, and everything else other than Allah has a beginning. And then we say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no end to His existence. So Allah exists, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no beginning to His existence, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no end. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala baqin, meaning He has no end to His existence, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not resemble any of His creations, and this is an attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Arabic we say mukhalifun lil hawadith, meaning Allah does not resemble any of His creations. Allah said in Surah Al-Shura, ayah 11, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, laysa kamithlihi shay, meaning Allah does not resemble any of His creations, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, I'll be talking more about this in the future. Also, we say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need anything else. Allah does not need any of His creations. Everything needs Allah, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need anything. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Qa'imun binafsihi. And we say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one, wahid. And the meaning of Allah is one is that Allah has no partners or counterparts, subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is only one God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We, in the English language, we say God, referring to Allah. In the French language, people say Dieu. In Arabic language, we say Allah. So those different words, they refer to the Creator who has no partners nor counterparts. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also is attributed with life. Allah is alive, or He has the attribute of life. And Allah's life is not like our lives, because Allah does not resemble any of His creations. So Allah's life is not with blood or spirit or soul or body. laysa kamithlihi shay. Allah does not resemble anything, and all of the attributes of Allah do not resemble the attributes of the creations. So Allah is attributed with life. So Allah is alive, subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the opposite of life is death. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we said, He has no end to His existence, and death is not to be attributed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the attribute of hearing. So Allah hears everything, and always remember that because Allah does not resemble any of His creations, all the attributes of Allah do not resemble our attributes. So Allah hears everything without an ear or an organ or a part. laysa kamithlihi shay. Allah does not resemble anything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also is attributed with sight. Allah can see everything. And Allah sees everything without an eye or jariha or a tool. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. Nothing resembles him and he resembles nothing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is attributed with speech. Allah has the attribute of kalam or speech. And Allah's kalam or Allah's speech is not like our speech. Allah's speech is not voice, is not sound, is not language, Arabic, English, Japanese, Chinese, or any other language. Allah's speech is not a language. Allah's speech is not letters and is not composed of parts or letters. And Allah's speech has no beginning and no end. It's an attribute, it's a perfect attribute of Allah. Inshallah, I'll be talking about the attribute of speech in more details in future videos, inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is attributed with irada or will. Allah is willing. Allah has the attribute of will. And everything that happens in this world is under Allah's will. And inshallah I'll be talking about the attribute of will again in more details. I just want to briefly mention those attributes now in this video. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is attributed with power. Allah has the attribute of power. And Allah's power is related to things which are possible to the sound intellect. Allah's power is not related to things which are impossible to the sound intellect. Inshallah, I'll be talking about and explaining the meaning of this in a future video only about the attribute of power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is attributed with knowledge. We have to believe that Allah knows everything and that Allah's knowledge is perfect. Allah's knowledge is not like our knowledge. Allah's knowledge does not increase or decrease. Allah's knowledge does not change. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. He knows everything. He knows everything that happened. He knows everything that's happening. He knows everything that will happen. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, briefly I've mentioned 13 attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala which we have to know and to believe in as Muslims. And this is under the science of Tawheed or the science of Aqidah or the fundamental creed, the basic belief of Muslims. And this is under also the meaning of La ilaha illallah. When you say La ilaha illallah, the meaning of La ilaha illallah is that I know and I believe and I witness that no one and nothing deserves to be worshipped except Allah, the one who exists, the one who has no beginning, the one who has no end, the one who does not resemble any of his creations, the one who does not need any of his creations, the one who is alive, the one who sees everything, the one who hears everything, the one who has the attribute of speech, and Allah's speech is not like our speech, subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who has the attribute of will, the one who has the attribute of power, and the one who has the attribute of knowledge, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, inshallah, barakallahu fikum, I have mentioned those attributes briefly in this video as a starter of a series of videos, inshallah, where I'll be speaking in more details about those attributes. And may Allah bless you all, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to see His honorable Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, our great leader and master. And inshallah, I'll be talking to you in future videos. Barakallahu fikum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Fi amanillah.